Hello everyone, X-Wall Kill Bethelite here. And I want to talk a little bit about what I call Jehovah's Witnesses and the 6-9 effect. Jehovah's Witnesses had this mystery about them earlier on in their history. This mystery, this mystique that they had drew in a lot of people. I'll explain what I mean by the 6-9 effect. There was a musician, rapper, rap name he went by was 6-9, Mexican guy, and he got immensely popular for a lot of different reasons, I'm sure. One thing that made him popular was there was a mystery about him. This was a rapper who would talk about anybody. He would get on lives with gang members and everything and say whatever to them. His interviews would bring in, I think, millions of views because people wanted to know, who is this guy? He's so brazen in what he says that there may be some truth to what he's talking about. Is this guy the Mexican version of Bruce Lee? Why is he not afraid of any daggum body? So I was even watching his interviews trying to figure out, is this guy in the cartel or something? Like what is this about this guy where he will openly say anything about anybody? He's around all these gang members, and he's got rainbow colored hair and all kinds. Like was just, you don't see this every day. Then later, here comes the 6-9 effect. Later, the guy gets in trouble. He tells on members of his quote unquote gang. Then you got videos of him getting beat up. So no, he's not this tough guy. That goes out the window. No, he's not some super martial artist. No, that goes out the window because he's getting beat up. No, he's not some crazy shooter or killer because, you know, he was getting kidnapped and everything by his gang, which I think he, brought that out when the, what hit the fan, and you have court hearings and everything else. So the mystique is gone. What he was talking about, now you know for sure that he was just talking. He was around gang members, but they were pretty much using them for his money. Now the mystique is gone. Now you know what was going on. It's the same with Jehovah's Witnesses. Now he has interviews, and I don't even really watch them. He's trying to do the same thing, but it's not interesting. Now you know he's not telling the truth, or now you know if whoever he's talking about finds him, he's just gonna get beat up. Like now you know there's no mystery to it. Jehovah's Witnesses would talk. This is the connection that I'm making. Just like 6-9 would talk about anybody, not afraid of anybody. Jehovah's Witnesses would talk about any religion. They would speak bad about any religion. All of them are part of Babylon the Great. As a matter of fact, don't even call us a church and connect us with any of these religions. Jehovah's Witnesses would come to your door. And I was there growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. I remember what the culture is like. they would stick their foot in the door so that if you just tried to close it on them, you couldn't. They were so brazen, walking up to anybody's door. We would park the car by a church, wait for people to come out of the church, and just start approaching people right out the church. Like that is about as disrespectful to that church as possible. We about to just straight steal your members right out of your hands, right in your face. Jehovah's Witnesses had this mystique about them, this allure. How are these people coming up with all these predictions? The generation of 1914, how are they coming up with this? These people, they are looking at the Bible and they're able to piece things together. And they're able to come up with teachings, and no one else has these teachings, and they call themselves the truth, the only religion being led by God. It's like, who are these people? Getting book bags, circling everybody's blocks. Like, you know, there was a mystique involved, and I know because I was a member, and there was mystery involved with, we've got all these teachings, we think all of them are true. We think religions outside of our own are so wildly inaccurate. And there's this place called Bethel, and that is where God is literally running this whole religion. Well, later on, here comes the 6-9 effect. Later on, people find out about false predictions, 1975, and there were false predictions even before that. Then people find out that the whole generation of 1914 teaching was complete BS. Complete BS. This is just like you got this rapper 6ix9ine talking about all these people, and then later on the internet reveals he was just talking. You know what I mean? He was just talking. There wasn't very much truth to any of the tough guy stuff. With Jehovah's Witnesses, the internet revealed they were just being misled. Their leadership did not know if the end was going to come before the generation of 1914 or not. They didn't know. All what they did know is that when we come up with this stuff, when we come up with a teaching, and it's different from anything anybody else has, our membership eats it up. They just believe it. Nobody questions anything. They just take it as it is. So they came up with all these teachings, and sure enough, it's revealed online that it was all BS. And they have been trying to restructure the teachings and the doctrine ever since. They're still doing it to this day, trying to repair the damn doctrine. To this day, they're trying to repair a doctrine, fix it, change it. And they were telling everybody that they were the one true organization ran by who? God himself was running. So, would you have to fix something that God was running? If God was running a business, would it take years to repair the doctrine, fix it, come up with new teachings? No, God wasn't running it. So the truth then comes out later that darn near all of it was false. There were so many teachings about dates and 607 BCE, and there were so many teachings, and the doctrine was something that we were 100% sure of. Why? God's running this place. Well, fast forward to today, Jehovah's Witnesses go through the 6-9 effect. There's no mystery anymore. I'm not even interested really in watching broadcasts. The only thing that comes of interest in broadcasts is just the comedy effect. How comical it is. There's Lily over here. Finished her walk. We got her walk in early. Did her walk first. Then we got into our topic. But it's not even interesting anymore because you know they're not somehow magically getting it from God. I remember even as a younger person trying to figure out how they were doing it. There was a discussion I had with relatives, and I think my younger sister went to Pioneer School and was talking about how God was leading this guy called Brother Pottinger. And I was trying to figure out how. Like, how? Because somebody, this is even before Loescher, one of the governing body members, said, hey, we're not inspired. We're not infallible. Like, he came forward and just told the truth. This was before that. Somebody else that was a higher up said something similar. And then I sat and thought about it, and I'm like, this is, I think, after I found out about 1975 and started finding out about certain things. I think this is after Bethel. It had to have been after Bethel for me to even question anything. I'm like, how is Brother Pottinger directly getting anything from God? How exactly is he doing it? And she was like, well, I feel that I know Brother Pottinger was just getting it from God and his Holy Spirit, and he's getting it from electricity. Y'all remember, y'all taught that this is electricity. Basically like electricity, like power coming out. It's like the hot beam that comes out of Superman's eyes is what they call the Holy Spirit. It's just some power that God shoots out that he uses to get stuff done. Nothing was making sense anymore. You question everything now. Nothing anybody says. Jehovah's Witnesses don't stick no feet in no doors no more because people know. They've been exposed online. They can't explain how a religion that was led by God, according to them, the truth, according to them, got it all freaking wrong. Then they try to come up with some light gets brighter. Light don't get brighter with God. If God was running this organization, the light would not get brighter. He don't need to ease the light on. There's no reason for him to tell you something and it be a lie. Generation of 1914 was not true. These teachings that they used to have about Bethel, those teachings about Bethel being the house of God and people at Bethel just being superior to everybody else. The teachings about people with titles. That was another thing that had mystique, because you didn't know how exactly a person became a ministerial servant or became an elder. They just were appointing people. They were just giving these things out to people. You didn't know exactly how. So if they were to say, God just picked this guy and called him a ministerial servant or called him an elder, this guy, God, Jehovah, just picked this guy and just decided this is what he's going to be. You didn't know that wasn't true. There was that mystery involved. I think to this day, if someone says they were an elder, or you know what I mean, people, there's this mystery. There's this, ooh, he must know what he's talking about. No. The damn governing body didn't know what the hell they were talking about, and they were feeding these lies to every elder on the planet, and not one of these elders figured it out. There was no mystique to these elders. They were just yes men. That's all they were, is people who would push whatever the hell teaching the governing body came up with, or people who would do whatever the hell the governing body told them. And ministerial servants were essentially just people who would do whatever the hell the elders told them to do. Like, these are all just yes, man. There's no mysterious God is somehow picking these elders. No. Damn near anybody that would stay there long enough that could read and repeat what the governing body told them could become an elder. They just, you know what I mean? There's no mystique to them. They're not sticking their foot in no doors no more. They're trying to stand next to carts. If you challenge them, they run like hell. Jehovah's Witnesses run like hell. Because it's almost like 6ix9ine. If he gets approached, hell, everybody knows now I might as well run. You know what I mean? With Jehovah's Witnesses, it's the exact same. Everybody knows it's BS. If they're standing out next to a cart and somebody comes up and approaches them and challenge them according to, well, you guys said this was the truth, and y'all are still changing it, trying to fix it. When was it ever the truth? If they have this light gets brighter teaching, well, if it's true, y'all are, your lights are dim, which the light is dim for most Jehovah's Witnesses, then it wasn't the truth then. Either way you put it, your light was either out and you couldn't tell what you were telling everybody was false, and then the light got brighter and then you could see that it was false. Whatever the case may be, it was false. It was never the truth. Every elder, I'm talking every congregation had elders, and every damn one of them, not one of them figured out. All of them had Bibles. None of them could figure out. Nobody could figure it out. Everybody was BS. Oh, I was an elder, pioneer, ministerial, sir. All these titles were BS. None of them could figure out that they'll run around teaching people lies until it just got exposed all over the internet. Not one of them could figure it out. All of them were just a bunch of BS. All of them were just a bunch of ashy Negroes running around to people's doors, banging on the door, because nobody knew anything about Jehovah's Witnesses, and there was this mystique about them. There's no mystique anymore. If you watch a broadcast, it's just some fat jibber jabber governing body member or old ass governing body member that rolled out of bed. Somebody had to help him fasten their diaper. I don't know if them diapers still have the Velcro that you put the Velcro, and when you take it off, it makes the noise. But you know, Sam heard every day you hear the noise because somebody's got to take off the diaper. Somebody's got to fasten it on after putting the baby powder on. There's no mystique to this guy. None. He was BS all this time. All this time it was bullshit. But 6ix9ine is still trying to do the videos, the interviews. I'm sure some people watch them. I don't. It's not interesting anymore. You know, if he does a song and a song is okay, but it is not interesting anymore. We know it's BS. The same is true of Jehovah's Witnesses. She's growling because somebody was walking across the street. How dare they? How dare they walk across the street without getting Lily's permission? They need Lily's permission before they go walking across that street. You don't just walk around all willy-nilly. But comment down below and let me know what you think about it, because there were all these titles. I remember people would recognize us on the street and they would say, hey, these are Jehovah's Witnesses because, you know, hey, they're the only ones out here outside of Mormons. We know today that that's not true. Other churches go out. They just don't go banging on everybody's door talking about they have the truth and then it all comes out to be a lie. Nobody's dumb enough to do that but Jehovah's Witnesses. But Jehovah's Witnesses even surpassed the 6ix9ine effect in that after all that stuff came out about 6ix9ine, okay, this is we know what's going on now. It's just some kid that got involved with stuff that got over his head and he was talking a lot of shit online. That's all it was. And then people just go on about their merry way. With Jehovah's Witnesses, they're still running around calling themselves elders. A bunch of ashy Negroes are still running around calling themselves elders after we have already found out everything that was being taught was bullshit and you couldn't figure it out. What the hell do you mean what elder what? Elder what? Elderberry? They're elderberries now? Not no elder in regards to anything that has to do with nothing about no Bible. Everything was wrong, and I'm talking I was raised in it, meaning my stepdad was an elder. You're talking about going to the hall for years. These elders had years. These elders sat down and studied. I ought to cut the heat down. These elders sat down and studied these watchtowers every damn week. They studied these books every damn week. Never figured out that it was bullshit. So if you get caught in the biggest religious scam, biggest global religious scam there is, and get found out to just be some empty-headed bimbo being used by governing body members to spread their BS, how are you still running around talking about you an elder? What in the world is going, like, now that's what's still interesting, is you got all these old blackheads running around talking about they elder. They need to just change the damn names. Just take away the whole damn ministerial servant bullshit. Elder BS, pioneer BS, what the heck? Y'all are out there for like 15 hours in the whole damn month. Just stop it. They're still trying to push the titles, and there's still people that they have a minion mindset where a title immediately snaps them to attention. It immediately snaps them to attention, and they are immediately ready to obey. And that's why just a title of some sort hypnotizes them into thinking that this is an important person. These are just a bunch of old bimbos that have worn the same socks to the hall for 3 weeks in a row, getting up on a stage, still repeating the same BS from the same people that tricked them to begin with all these false teachings. It is insane. It is I don't think anybody on the planet is still falling for the whole 6ix9ine thing and thinking that this is some kind of tough guy. There's nobody, they might say he's musically talented, but there's nobody that I know of that is still falling for that. Jehovah's Witnesses managed to be the only people on the planet to openly find out that they were taught a bunch of BS, spoon-fed a bunch of dog shit. No offense to Lily, we'll call it something else. Cow patties. And still run to these same people with their mouths wide open to get themselves another spoonful of the bullshit. They want seconds. They want thirds. They just run around acting like ain't nothing ever happened. It is insane. That's what they need to change next. Next time, just call them all brothers. Their cult governing body members will just come together and say, hey, you guys are, the Bible says you guys are just all brothers. There's no elder, there's no ministerial servant. You don't need a title to carry a damn microphone. These people thought they were special because they carried a damn microphone. You don't need a title to carry a damn microphone. You don't need a title to get up on a stage with a magazine and repeat back to us what was already written in a paragraph by people at Bethel. You don't need titles for that. Get rid of the titles. And also, the mystique about Bethel is over with. Man, I got to Bethel, and it was just a bunch of stuck-up poor people. A lot of them were just a bunch of stuck-up poor people. Didn't hardly have gas money to get to the damn Kingdom Hall when they were trying to charge us Bethelites gas money just to get a ride to the Kingdom Hall. A bunch of stuck-up people. When you would go to the hall, if you had Bethelites in your hall and they got up on the stage, they weren't just going to blow you away with any kind of Bible knowledge. They were fed the same bullshit as everybody else. They're repeating the same bullshit as everybody else. It's been exposed that they're all masturbating at Bethel, all over the linen and whatnot. That's something else that Jehovah's Witnesses can't do anything about the immorality. They can't. They cannot do anything about the immorality. The reason why there's so much masturbation at Bethel, and let's just be honest, I was there. The reason why damn near all the Bethelites are jacking off And I think that's probably one of the reasons why they have to have a self-served menu. Everybody gets their own food now. You're not served the food now. Probably Bethel's, we're going to get sued. We got these people jacking off all over the chicken and then serving it, or jacking off all over their hands and then serving food. The whole damn waiter crew is all jacking off. We know y'all are jacking off. All of y'all are doing it, and then going to serve food. That's probably for legal reasons why they had to change it. Yeah, somebody that had something on their glass that wasn't supposed to be there. Or their Kashi cereal tasted a little funny that day. That's probably the reason why they had to change it. The reason why is because, A, they're broke. They're working for free. So it is a little bit difficult when you're working for free and you have to have seniority at Bethel, meaning you got to be there for some years, know the right people before you're going to get married and bring a wife in. So you're gonna get married. This is about to be difficult. A, you ain't got no damn money because Bethel ain't paying you. God ain't paying you, which is another crock of BS. Because look at the economy now. You can't just leave Bethel or get kicked out of Bethel. There was this Bethelite from New York that was doing videos, and he said he got kicked off because he was jacking off. And how does he feel now? How does he feel now? He knows everybody was jacking off. You just the only one that got kicked out because you went and told people that you was jacking off. You can't jack off and then go and tell people, guess what I was doing today? You know what I mean? There was this, now that it's just out there that these people are all jacking off, the immorality can't be stopped, because the reason they're jacking off is because there ain't no women. Most of the women there are married. Yes, some of these women are sleeping with the younger Bethelites that come in. But not everybody. They're not just sleeping with every one of them. They're picking out who they want to pick out. You don't just immediately come to Bethel and some sister just starts putting it on you. Somebody's going to approach you, though. Somebody will eventually. One of the guys are going to try to hit on you. That's what happened to me. Pretend like they're mentoring you, and they try to get you in the room and then try to give you a beer and then try to get you to lay down somewhere. You know what I mean? They can't stop the immorality at Bethel. So how do you think that they're stopping the immorality all around the world in the regular congregations? They're not. They can't stop it in, quote unquote, God's house. People are jacking off in God's house at Bethel. So how do you think that they're stopping immorality? The whole mystique that Jehovah's Witnesses are morally higher than other people is BS. They're getting divorces just like everybody else getting divorced. People's wives running off on them. People's wives popping off on them. You think that there's some kind of headship arrangement that they talk about? It's a bunch of BS. People's wives saying whatever the heck they want to say, whenever the heck they want to say it to their husbands, as disrespectful as possible. I done seen it plenty times. Plenty of times. It's all a bunch of BS. Bethel's not closed either. So you got people that there's women that come into Bethel. There's girls that come to Bethel. You know what I mean? It's just they ain't coming to every Bethel if they don't know you. So at Bethel, you got people who are sleeping with women because it's not. You can let whoever the hell you want to let in. There's girls there. But it's just a little bit more difficult when you ain't got money. Even if you wanted to get married, it's a freaking hurdle because now you got to come up with a job. These houses ain't cheap. Apartments ain't cheap. You know, it's so they just jacking off. If they could get a hold of a woman, they would do what they're imagining while they're jacking off. What they're imagining, they would do it to a woman if they had one. So they can't stop the immorality at Bethel. They can't stop the homosexuality. Somebody was in my comments talking about there's nobody openly gay at Bethel. It depends on what do you mean by openly gay? Do you mean you got people walking around talking about their lesbians? No, you don't got people openly jacking off at Bethel. You don't got people openly letting women in and tapping that ass in the room at Bethel. You don't have nobody. They're not openly doing a lot of stuff at Bethel. They don't sit there at the Bethel Family Watchtower discussing sister lesbian. Will you go ahead and, comment on such and such, or brother gay? Will you go comment? You and your husband, will you comment on this and such? No, they haven't made that change yet. They might change it in the future, but they haven't made that change yet. What are we eating over here? So I don't know what this person in the comment section was talking about. Ain't nobody openly gay. It's not verbally open, but it's open in the sense that you got grown men coming out of rooms with other grown men. You got grown men running around shaking their behinds. You got grown men inviting other young Bethelites to the cabins. It's like, how do you describe someone doing something and it's open in view, but they're not running around with a bullhorn saying that they're doing it? You got Bethel elders just hand like this. Does anybody have any chewing gum? I have this terrible taste in my mouth. Like is that openly gay? Can you describe that as openly gay? I would say, yeah, he ain't trying to hide it too much. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to him. He knows the right people. He knows all the other gay Bethel elders. They probably get cabins together and be doing the whole freaking P. Diddy thing. Baby oil all over the place. So the mystique is over with. There's no mystique to who these people are knocking on your doors. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Run around knocking on doors. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. 937-789-4029. We'll discuss it. X Wallkill Bethelite signing out.